Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah, we made it to the end of the week. It is the 7th day of June, 2019. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, and for a lot of youngsters all over north central Washington, this is a milestone day in your life. It's time to get your diplomas and move on to the next phase. Of course, we will be carrying both the Eastmont and Wenatchee's commencement exercises. The 61st commencement exercises for Eastmont High School will begin at 6 o'clock tonight at the Town Toyota Center. We will carry it live in case you can't make it to the Town Toyota Center. Immediately following that, the 115th commencement exercises for Wenatchee High School takes place at Leiboftel Field at the Apple Bowl. That begins at 8 o'clock, and we will have both of those commencement exercises live, back-to-back, commercial-free. Thank you to our sponsors. We're looking forward to that. And for you folks who are going to be outside at Leiboftel Field at the Apple Bowl, not going to get wet. Remember last year we had a little bit of rain right at the very end of the commencement exercises last year. This year the big story is going to be the wind, and we'll talk about that when we get to the weather forecast. Hey, it's Friday. What's going on this weekend? We'll touch on that when we get to the news. There's a lot of news to touch on, that all-important weather forecast. Once we get through this weekend, we're in for a major heat wave coming our way. It's going to start building up on Sunday, and by Wednesday and Thursday next week, we could be setting record high temperatures. But that's in the future. Right now, it's chilly. It's 48 degrees outside of our studios. That's downright cold for this time of the year. We also have sports. Apple Sox got some major fielding errors they got to work on. More unearned runs given up against Victoria yesterday. We got that. When we get to sports, the Mariners and the Astros played a game that might still be playing. I think it took like 5.5 hours to play it. We'll talk about that. We have the obscure holiday birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion today in history. And in the back half of the hour, an exclusive interview with outgoing Wenatchee School District Superintendent Brian Flones. He sat down with our very own senior news correspondent Steve Hair yesterday to give us kind of a farewell look at his 19 years as the superintendent of the Wenatchee School District. Of course, he is stepping aside. It's an exclusive interview that Steve arranged with Brian. We'll have that in the back half of the program. Beautiful, chilly morning. Let's go around north central Washington with our Valley View cameras. The cross camera is pulled back a little bit. We use that little bump that you see at the bottom of your screen as my compass to figure out where we are. So we're zoomed back there quite a bit. Just a gorgeous morning. Is this not God's country or what? And as I look at that photo, I remember back in my younger days, we used to go up there to the very tip of Wenatchee Heights and, party is what we used to do. Okay, there, I said it. The Wenatchee Valley did not look like that. This is just a booming, growing community. There's no question about it. The secret's out. We kept it a secret for a long time, but you can only, when you live in a place as beautiful as this, people are going to find out about it. Gorgeous view of the Wenatchee Valley. We continue to dry out, and we will be drying out with very little precipitation and some significant wind, where the drying out process will continue as we start getting into wildfire season. Ugh, I hate to say that. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? She decides, I don't know. We are going to see Stamen Flats. Good morning, Stamen Flats. US 97 is, 97A, I should say, is down there. Actually, US 97, you can see across the river on the Douglas County side of the mighty Columbia. And yeah, it is up there. The Columbia is, ironically enough, the Columbia is up, but Lake Chelan is down. It's not quite full all the way yet. At least that's what my friends up at the lake tell me. They still got a couple more feet to go before they get to their traditional summertime level. Camera 3, we are going to see what's going on. Well, speaking of Lake Chelan, that's the top of McNeil Canyon, I believe. But Lake Chelan in the distance, what a beautiful view that is. So yeah, the lake's just a little on the low side, but they'll be filling her up. It's like a great big bathtub, really, I guess, if you think about it. It's going to be a nice weekend up there at Lake Chelan, but next weekend could be even really, if you like it hot, boy, wait till next week. We're going to cook it right up. Camera 4, where are we off to? 3M. We're going to say hello and good morning to, I'm going to guess that's the Waterville camera. That's just a guess. I am correct. Wow, I went 4 for 4 today. That camera has been moved. I believe that's just a little sliver of Aniat to your left, and then you can see Earthquake Point as the highway climbs its way up. That's an incredible view from the Waterville camera. Speaking of Aniat, their 75th anniversary party is on Saturday, June 15th, and yes, His Honor, Mayor John Alt, will be on this show next week to talk about Aniat's 75th anniversary celebration coming up next weekend. So we've got that in the books. I'm looking forward to that. In fact, we got a lot of great guests coming up all of next week. 5 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at your forecast. Big story today is going to be the wind. It's going to be breezy. It's going to be cool. That high of 69 is chilly. We only hit 67 yesterday. Our normal high should be right around 76 or 77. So we were 10 degrees below normal yesterday. We're going to be below normal again today. Again, it's only 48. Big story is going to be the wind, especially wind gusts. We have a graphic to show you that came to us from the National Weather Service. So take a look at where you live, and these are going to be your peak wind gusts this afternoon. As you can see in the Wenatchee Valley, pretty close to 30 miles an hour at times, and it's going to be a little gusty even right up until sunset. Sunset tonight is going to be right about 8:55. So for the first hour and a half of the Wenatchee High School commencement anyway, because it's outdoors, you're going to have to deal with some wind and some cool temperatures. Bundle up. It might be pleasant when it begins at 8 o'clock, but when that sun goes down, it's going to cool down quite a bit. So just the slightest chance of some light rain today. We're not even going to put it up graphically. Big story today is going to be the wind. Pretty consistent wind, 9 to 14 miles an hour this morning. It's going to pick up to right around 20 miles an hour in the afternoon. Again, as you can see, gusts near 30 at times today. The winds will eventually be dying down overnight tonight. Chilly, 51 for the overnight low. Saturday, still some residual wind, still below normal. That high of 74 is still a little on the cool side. Wind will be out of the west about 8 to 13 miles an hour. But then a high pressure ridge, which is just off the Pacific coast, is going to start coming in on Sunday. We're going to cook up to about 79, which is right about normal, and then a major heat up. In fact, it's going to center right over the state of Washington. And so here we go. We go from 79 to 88 to 93 to 94 to 94. Talk about your weather smorgasbord from 69 to 94. That's all over the map. Again, for your Friday today, the big story is going to be the wind. We have a slight chance of a passing shower. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Quite breezy this morning, windy this afternoon with gusts up near 30 or so at times later on this afternoon into the early evening hours. It's 7.5 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The news is 1 minute away, but you don't have to wait that long for me to talk about Confluence Health, a proud sponsor of this program. Maybe I shouldn't say proud. They're a sponsor of this program. I'm assuming they're sponsoring this program because they don't watch it. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
And we are back 9 minutes after the hour. We have lots of sunshine, a chilly 48 degrees. We'll get up to 69 today with quite a bit of wind, a little bit of residual wind on Saturday, and then a gradual warm-up comes next week. Here's what's making the headlines. A jogger in Leavenworth's Enchantment Park had to jump into the Wenatchee River Wednesday night to escape a black bear. Captain Mike Jewell of the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife said the bear was with its cub when the encounter took place. This happened about 9 o'clock Wednesday night.
So what we had was an adult male jogger down in the Blackbird Island area of Enchantment Park yesterday evening. It was right around 9 o'clock p.m. Came around a blind corner in the trail and encountered a black bear with a cub, as it was described. Cub ran off. Black bear started approaching the jogger, so he turned and ran. He didn't have a lot of options on where to go, so because of the location. It was a steep bank and some vegetation, so he did jump into the river, which obviously stopped the bear from pursuing him. The bear remained in the area for a brief period, making some noise, letting him know that she was unhappy, and then she moved down the riverbank. Chelan County Sheriff's Office responded first and were able to. They didn't actually see the bear, but they could hear the bear nearby, still making noise, letting them know that she was around. They were able to escort her out, and then again we worked with the park to get some notices posted, advising people to stay out of the park because there was some bear activity in the area.
Jules said it's uncertain at this point what will be done with the bear if they're able actually to locate the bear.
So we want to remove her from the park. We haven't made a determination yet exactly what we're going to do. It depends on a variety of factors. It depends on what the condition of the cubs are and whether or not we believe we can successfully relocate her, or that may not be an option. We don't know yet. We just haven't made that decision.
Jewel added that it's important that people in the Leavenworth area do what they can to avoid attracting bears.
Bears in Leavenworth are nothing new. We get calls about them in town fairly frequently, and part of the reason for that is, yes, Leavenworth is surrounded by bear habitat, but the other side is we have a lot of problems with residents leaving attractants out that draw bears into town. Things like garbage cans that aren't bear-proof, bird feeders. There are a lot of businesses that have dumpsters that aren't bear-proof. So bears in Leavenworth has been a chronic problem for us, and it would really help us out if we could get the residents and community to remove those attractants and secure their garbage so that hopefully we can solve this problem a little easier.
36 minor in possession citations are going to be issued after Chelan County deputies disrupted a barn party near Cashmere just before midnight on Tuesday. Jason Reinfeld of the Chelan County Sheriff's Office said an anonymous caller tipped off law enforcement to the underage drinking party in the 100 block of Elkview Lane. Reinfeld said he doesn't have information on which school or schools the teens attended, but it is believed to have been a graduation party. The 36 who will be cited were among 44 people at the party. Well, a dog was reportedly shot multiple times and left for dead along the side of a road in the Squilchuck area on Wednesday. The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society was notified yesterday evening after a man found the injured dog near Beehive Reservoir and the Mission Ridge Ski Resort. The dog was examined and x-rayed. It showed it had been shot 3 times in the head, neck, and shoulder. The male adult dog is described as a large silver and white pit bull terrier mix. He was not wearing a collar or an ID chip. You're urged to call Wenatchee Valley Animal Control if you have any information to share. Well, outgoing Wenatchee School District Superintendent Brian Flones says the school board is set this month to discuss lifting the district's levy cap as approved by the Washington State Legislature earlier this year. Currently, the district can only collect $1.50 per $1,000 of assessed value on the bond that was approved by voters 2 years ago. Now, the new law would allow the district to raise that cap to $2.50.
Certainly there's going to be a conversation about that. In fact, on our June 11th meeting, it's going to be on the agenda to talk about what are the options related to, going up to $2.50 from $1.50 of assessed value. So that's what they're going to be looking at, and then they'll have to make some decisions about what the direction they want to go.
At their most recent school board meeting, the school board was recommended by Wenatchee Education Association President Chris Cameron to approve the increase by means of restoring some of the staff positions that were cut in the current budget. By the way, Steve's entire conversation with outgoing Superintendent Brian Flones will be aired in its entirety in the back half of this very program. Of course, Brian Flones is retiring, is being replaced by Paul Gordon. Here's the latest update on the 243 Command fire. This is as of this morning. Things are looking pretty good. It's all pretty much good news. Right now it's at 20,380 acres. It is 65% contained. They are estimating they'll have full containment on this fire at 5 o'clock tonight. Most, if not, well, many anyway, of the 350 fire personnel on the scene will be released today as they switch over to mop-up work. By the way, the cause of that fire is still under investigation. And finally, it's Friday. What's happening this weekend? I don't know, but Megan does. It's Weekend Events with Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center and North Central Regional Library are hosting a free makerspace this Friday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. featuring a laser cutter, sewing machines, circuit machine, and 3D printing. Come explore, create, and make. Admission is free all day starting at 10 at the museum on the first Friday of every month, and hours are extended to 8 with light refreshments and snacks offered after 5. Also on Friday, come take a look inside the beautifully restored historic Wells House from 5 to 7 p.m. Tours will be given on the first and second floors with the insider information including history about the house and the original owners, fun facts about its college days, and interesting details uncovered in the renovation. Light refreshments will be served. The Wells House is located off 9th Street at the end of Nelson on the Wenatchee Valley College campus. Soul to Soul Storybook 5K is this Saturday starting at 8:30 a.m. at Pybus Public Market. This annual run walk is held in conjunction with National Get Outdoors Day. All proceeds will benefit the Scholarship Fund for the King's Garden, a ministry of Lighthouse Christian Ministries. Packet pickup will be from 5 to 7 p.m. on Friday inside Pybus Market. Bike and Juice is this Saturday from 9 to noon at the Leavenworth Ski Hill. This event features kids' bike races, lunch, fun activities, and more. And finally, join the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center this Saturday for a downtown walking tour from 10:30 to 2:30. Tour the museum, the Liberty Theater, and the Chamber of Commerce for wine tasting and light refreshments. The tour stops at the North Central Regional Library before continuing on to Mela Roasting for coffee tasting. In addition to the scheduled stops, tour goers will learn about downtown buildings and their history. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Yeah, chock full of things to do this weekend. It all begins tonight with commencement exercises. Not just the Eastmont and Wenatchee commencement exercises that we'll be televising, but most of the area high schools will be holding their commencement exercises either tonight or over the weekend. Congratulations to the class of 2019. And that's a friendly reminder, if you live anywhere near the general vicinity of Lee Boffill Field of the Apple Bowl, Recreation Park, Triangle Park, at the conclusion of tonight's Wenatchee commencement exercises, shortly after 10 o'clock or so, there will be a fireworks display of about 3 minutes. So be forewarned if you have pets that are sensitive to those loud noises the fireworks make, and a lot of pets are, dogs and stuff. There will be about a 3-minute fireworks display shooting out over Recreation Park into the Lee Boffill Field of the Apple Bowl area. So just a little heads up on that. You want to make sure your pooches are indoors and safe. The news with Grant Olson and Eric Grandstrom comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock every Monday through Friday, 5, 6, and 10, right here on this very television station. You can watch it on our website at ncwlife.com. You can either watch the live stream as it happens, or you can watch it on demand by going to our website. And a reminder, we will be streaming, not only broadcasting on television, but streaming the commencement exercises for Eastmont and Wenatchee on our Facebook page and on our website. Looking forward to that. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got sports, the obscure holiday today, and history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion and Steve Hair's conversation with Brian Flones between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I found a doctor that I just really, really like, and his name is Nick Collins. I just like everything about him. He's very thorough, but he's not intrusive at all, so he goes ahead and checks out things that somebody else might just let it go. Just about everything about him.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I do's to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
20 minutes after the hour on this Friday, I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's do sports. The Wenatchee Apple Sox again. More defensive problems last night. They dropped the final game of their 3-game series against the Victoria Harbor Cats. The final was 8-5. In 4 games this season, Wenatchee has committed at least 3 errors in each of those games. The Apple Sox now dropping to 500 on the campaign last night. The Harbor Cats scored 5 unearned runs in the second inning to build a lead it would never relinquish. The voice of the Apple Sox, our friend Joel Norman, has the details on last night's contest.
The Apple Sox dropped the series finale to the Victoria Harbor Cats on Thursday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. They fall to 1-2 on the season, and for the second evening in a row, were done in by a rough early inning. In the first inning of Wednesday night's ball game, they gave up 4 runs. They outdid themselves. Didn't give up any runs in the first inning for the first time this series, but in the second inning of Thursday night's game, they gave up 5 runs and really just weren't able to climb out of that hole. Blake Klassen did a nice job in his Apple Sox debut. Joined the team a day before the Thursday night ball game, and then he reached base 4 different times, including being hit by 2 pitches and swiping a couple bases. But it was a tough spot for the Apple Sox to get out of that hole. They got back as close as 2 runs, but would get no closer. They head on the road for a game on Friday night in Yakima Valley, the home opener for the Pippins. First pitch is at 7:05. With your Apple Sox report, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you, Joel. As Joel mentioned, yes, they're going to be in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, for a weekend series. They got Monday off, and then they'll be back at Paul Thomas Senior Field on Tuesday next week to take on Port Angeles, the first game of a 6-game homestand. Let's go to the Les Schwab scoreboard for West Coast League action last night. David James Libayoda. He went 2 for 3, scored 3 times. Walla Wallace swept Corvallis 5-3. Cameron Rapetti's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th gave Ridgefield its first franchise win. They beat Yakima Valley 3-2. Bellingham would make 3 first-inning runs hold up in a 3-1 victory over Kelowna. The Bells used 5 pitchers to hold the Falcons to 1 run on 6 hits, 8 strikeouts to take 2 of 3 in that series. Zach Smith's RBI base hit in the top of the 9th capped a 2-run comeback for Cowlitz. The Bears edged Bend 4-3. Brandon DeBenedictis also helped out on the cause at the plate for Cowlitz. He went 3 for 5 and also scored a run. Dominino Palmagiani went 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Ethan Groff with 3 for 5. Ronnie Russ 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Port Angeles blasted Portland 10-1. The lefties roughed up Pickle pitching with 18 hits on the game. They took 2 of 3 at Walker Stadium. So the standings look something like that. Bellingham, Port Angeles, Victoria, and Yakima Valley are all 2-1. They're tied for first. Wenatchee and Kelowna are 1-2. The Sweets lead the South, by the way. They're 3-0. Miles Straw led off the 14th inning with a triple and scored the game winner on a sacrifice fly. Unfortunately, Miles Straw plays for the Astros. The Astros beat the Mariners 8-7, a marathon game yesterday afternoon at T-Mobile Park. It actually started out in the afternoon and ended in the evening. Mariners had to come back multiple times in this one. Edwin Encarnacion sent it to extra innings with an RBI base hit at the bottom of the 9th. In the 10th, Houston took the lead, and then Omar Navarez homered it to tie it again. Seattle loaded the bases in the 11th and again in the 14th. Could not muster the game-winning hit. Manager Scott Service said, hey, the guys showed a little grit coming back, though.
Yeah, our guys really competed their tails off today. Really proud of our effort and continuing to come back. We're down 5-1 in that game. We had in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th inning, all trailing. We keep fighting. Really great sign. A lot of good things offensively today. Thought our played some pretty good defense. A lot of good plays out there today. Just didn't get that one. We had a couple chances there to get that winning run across the play. Just didn't quite get it done at the end. But not for lack of effort. Really happy with our effort today.
The two teams used a combined 15 pitchers in the 5-hour marathon. Seattle now heads to L.A. to take on the Angels. 7:07 first pitch. Marco Gonzalez will toe the rubber for the M's. Andrew Heaney will throw for the Angels. To the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard, Ariel Gerardo and 3 relievers combined to strike out 11. Baltimore hitters. Texas beats the Orioles 4-3. Everybody beats Baltimore nowadays. Stephen Piscotty was 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 runs, a couple of RBIs. Oakland got past the Angels 7-4. Houston's lead in the West is still 9 games over Texas, 11 in front of Oakland. Seattle slips further in the cellar with Thursday's loss. They're now 18 games out of first place. They're 26 and 40. On to better news. It's Big Rig Racing Night at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval tomorrow night, sponsored by the IBEW and the NECA. The Big Rigs return for the first time in 5 years to the WVSO. In addition, racing will include the Washington Midget Racing Association, the Thunder Cars, and the Roadrunners. Gates open at 4, racing at 5:30, FanFest at 6:30 at the WVSO. The Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks will try for a second consecutive win tomorrow night. They're at home. They're at the Town Toyota Center. The Skyhawks will battle the Tri-Cities Fire for the second straight game in American West Conference play. Kickoff tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Lots of other sports going on all over North Central Washington in the weekend. Eastmont Youth Baseball is hosting the annual Apple Capital Baseball Tournament. It's today through Sunday at the Eastmont Fourplex across the river at Morris Park. Wenatchee Youth Baseball is hosting their annual 9U and 10U baseball tournament. That's tomorrow and Sunday. Men's softball at Walla Walla Point Park tomorrow and Sunday. The Grip It and Rip It tournament. And the Wenatchee Racquet and Athletic Club hosts their annual Cusick Cup tennis tournament that runs tomorrow and Sunday. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday, 7th day of June 2019. Every June 7th is always on the obscure holiday. It is National VCR Day. Yes, rewind those tapes before you return them. It's National VCR Day, a major innovation. It really was. I mean, it revolutionized the way people watch television, but it almost didn't happen. In 1984, though, it did. The United States Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling in the case of Sony of America against Universal City Studios Incorporated, the court ruled, again, 5-4, that you could have a VCR in your home, you could tape television shows and play them back later. It didn't violate copyright. It was considered fair use. And from that point forward, bring on the VCR. The very first VCR, the Ampex VRX 1000, came out in 1956. It cost $50,000. Eventually, of course, the technology got better and better and better and better, and VCRs became affordable for just about everybody. Now, of course, VCRs are gone. People not even manufacture it anymore, but people still have boxes and closets full of VCRs. I had VCRs. I still have a VCR because I have tapes, and if I ever want to play them, I got to play them on a VCR. Celebrate. Go back in time and celebrate VCR Day today. 27 minutes after the hour, today in history. Happy birthday, Vatican City. Well, kind of. Vatican City's been around for centuries, but they got to be their own little entity 90 years ago today when they signed the Lateran Treaty with the government of Italy, which meant Vatican City would now be its own little country. And it is a little bitty country. It's only 110 acres. Population of Vatican City, about 1,000, which makes it by size and by population by far the smallest country in the world. The Vatican has its own post office, and most residents of Rome use that post office because the Vatican post office is a lot more efficient than the Italian post office. And if you live in Vatican City, if you're an actual resident, you don't have to pay taxes. Vatican City supports themselves by selling stamps, which are huge collector's items, and coins and medals and tourist stuff, that you buy when you're on tour and admission to museums. So there's no taxes in Vatican City, which became its own country 90 years ago today. A couple of very significant Supreme Court decisions were handed down on this date. On this date in 1965, the court said that even though the word privacy isn't in the Constitution, in the case of Griswold v. Connecticut, the court said it's kind of there, in the penumbras and emanations of the Constitution. Basically, there's enough in the Constitution to say that you kind of have a sort of right to privacy. Griswold v. Connecticut. Basically, married adult couples in the state of Connecticut could not purchase contraceptive materials. So court said in the 7-2 vote that, that violates the right to privacy. And this case, of course, would be the grandfather case for Roe v. Wade 8 years later. June 7th, 1971, 48 years ago today, that Supreme Court that you see there ruled in the case of Cohen v. California that vulgar writing is protected under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, which led to a lot of other very important Supreme Court decisions. I can't tell you the word in question here because it's one of the 7 words you can't say on TV, and we have an FCC license and we want to keep it. Cohen v. California, landmark case 48 years ago today. And 37 years ago today, June 7th, 1982, Priscilla Presley opened Graceland to the public. And it's still open to the public. The upstairs quarters and the bathroom, where Elvis Presley died, is kept off limits. Graceland is the second most visited home in America. They get about 600,000 visitors a year. Only the White House has more people walk through their hallways. Graceland opened to the public on this day back in 1982. And finally, we got some birthdays at the bottom of the hour. Big Daddy Dino spinning those hits of solid gold. I love Dean Martin. Dean Martin, he sang, he acted. He was a pretty good actor. Producer, concert stages, nightclubs, recordings, movies, TV. Of course, he hosted the Dean Martin Show and the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast and a bunch of hits. Memories are made of this. That's Amore. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Volare, Ain't That a Kick in the Head? The legendary Dean Martin was born 102 years ago. We lost him in 1995. Tom Jones is 79 years old today. There he is. It's not unusual for Tom Jones to have a birthday, you know. My favorite Tom Jones song, by the way, is She's a Lady. That song just rocks. The legendary Tom Jones from, well, he's Welsh, actually. He's 79 years old today. Thurman Munson. Thurman Munson was born in the state in 1947, perished in his plane crash, the plane that he was piloting back in the summer of 79 at the age of 32. American League Rookie of the Year in 1970, the American League MVP in 1976, 7 times an All-Star, 2 times a world champion, and the first captain of the New York Yankees since Lou Gehrig. The legendary Thurman Munson was born in the state in 1947, and Prince Rogers Nelson would have been 61 years old today. The great multi-instrumentalist, producer, actor, record. He's just fantastic. Legendary Prince. Love his music. Just phenomenal stuff. We miss him. Lost him way too early. He was born in the state in 1958. A musical genius indeed. All right, it is the bottom of the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, everybody is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And then yesterday, in an exclusive interview, our very own senior news correspondent Steve Hair sat down with outgoing Wenatchee School District Superintendent Brian Flones. That interview is coming up as well. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
There was a time when you had to travel a great distance to enjoy premium wine and food pairings. Now you can experience it right here in North Central Washington. Surround yourself with the beauty and romance of the Lake Chelan Valley and enjoy some of the finest winery restaurants in the world. Get your taste of adventure at Siren Song Vineyard Estate and Winery, Wapato Point Cellars Winemakers Grill, or Sorrento's at Chelan Cellars. All 3 have their own style and unique charm. Now you're less than an hour from excellence.
Hi everyone, this is Brent Crowder. After 13 years with the Town Auto Group, I have returned home to Town Toyota where it all started. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, let me help you find the right one at the right price. Toyota is reliable and trustworthy, and you can count on me to be the same. When it comes to buying your next car, you can't go wrong with Toyota and Crowder. Ask for Brent at Town Toyota or call me now at 888-5000.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers 1-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
Transform your windows with a variety of colors and styles like the Allure Transitional Window Covering by Lafayette Interior Fashions. Hi, this is Darren with Mini Blinds and More. We can install the latest and greatest in technology to open and close your blinds with only a touch of a button. From the largest windows in your home to room darkening shades for the bedroom. From stylish shades for your entertainment room to custom blinds for those hard-to-fit places. We have a solution for all of your window covering needs. We offer a variety of window coverings from Lafayette Interior Fashions. Call us today. We are Mini Blinds and More, your local blind store.
The Cottage Inn has been a Wenatchee Valley landmark since 1940, making it one of the longest-running locally owned restaurants around. And it's better than ever. Steak, seafood, and their famous homemade desserts for dinner, wonderful lunch items, and breakfast on Sundays, all made from scratch and at an affordable price. It's no wonder the Cottage Inn has been so popular for over 75 years. Enjoy a fabulous meal today at the Cottage Inn on Easy Street in Old Station.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I sometimes see on Facebook posts about pictures of police officers in full SWAT gear and the like, stating that these officers are heroes, men and women of courage, and they are. Hey, no doubt, believe me. But a lot of that, if I may say so, is just sometimes macho posing. Not in any way to show disrespect to those involved in the aggressive and potentially violent side of police work, but this is another side of police heroism. Those cops who deal with wounded victims, very often children, wounds that are not physical, but instead emotional and psychological. It's these interactions with the most vulnerable members of our society which caused cop-turned-author Joseph Wumbaugh to say that it's the emotional and psychological stressors of these kind of contacts that make police work the world's most dangerous profession. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no-cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood.
It's great. Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Well, this school year is Brian Flones' 19th year as superintendent, 32nd year in the Wenatchee School District. Now, he began his career in Wenatchee as the athletic director back in 1987. He served as the dean of students at Wenatchee High School before becoming deputy superintendent and now superintendent. He is now stepping down to start a new chapter in his life with your retirement, Brian. So congratulations, first of all.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's kind of exciting to think about the next chapter in my life, but it's also a little scary. But it's time. I'm ready.
Well, education has been your career, 32 years here at the Wenatchee School District. Yeah. Let's look back. How would you like to be remembered?
Oh, wow. I think I would like to be remembered that, you know, I really kind of had a vision for helping all kids to be successful and to also, do what we could for our staff to help them with the tools and resources that they needed to do the job the best that they can. And I think the outcomes that we've gotten over 19 years have proven that we've we've accomplished those goals. You know, the biggest thing for me is that when students graduate and students leave, they have to have hope of a better future and a direction and a pathway. And I think that through Wenatchee Learns, we've been able to accomplish that, you know, and really make a lot of progress with that.
That was my next question. I wanted to talk to you about what you see as some of your greatest achievements and accomplishments in your 19 years as the head of the school district. And Wenatchee Learns is probably one of the top achievements.
Yes, it is. You know, I think as I look back, you know, we went through some incredible demographic shifts in our community from 1986 till probably about 2004. We had increased enrollment. We had our Latino population increased from probably around 20% to close to 52% right now. Our poverty level students increased, you know, by maybe 35 to 40%. So with all of those demographic shifts, there's a lot of challenges that come with those in terms of the cultural component, trying to bring together two cultures, you know, the poverty issue in terms of the challenges that come with that. And so Wenatchee Learns, really, I think what we've seen now in the last 6 years is some real incredible progress that I can talk about later. But you know, improvements in graduation rates, improvements in college-going students, in tech school students. I mean, big improvements.
I know with the ethnic population, the diversity of your student body now. It has been a challenge in terms of being able to provide equal education to everybody and have everybody graduate on time.
Right. You know, and I think that's one of the things that we've really focused on is providing the right services and the right experiences for all kids, because all kids come in differently and they learn at different rates and they have different life experiences. And so providing those students, especially those students who would be considered disadvantaged, providing them with the experiences that they need so that they can move on to the next level, so they can graduate and they can go on to college, because most of these are first-generation college-bound students or in a career technical program. So what we've done from K to 12 is build these experiences from the elementary to the middle school to the high school that gives these kids a vision for a future and a hope for a future. And that's what I think has really been just the whole package put together.
You know, I know the school district went through some changes here several years ago when you adopted the bilingual education in the elementary schools. How's that worked out, especially with the increase in the Hispanic population that we've seen?
Oh, it's worked out really well. You know, when it first started, it was fairly controversial. You know, the community wasn't quite ready for it, and so we had to do a lot of education and get out to service clubs, get out to community groups, explain what we're trying to do. And I think over time now, people value the understanding that having two languages is a big benefit
from a practical standpoint.
Yes, and professionally if they move on. So that program is doing well, and it's been recognized. You know, it's kind of a choice school, you know, for a dual language, and we have, you know, a lot of choice requests from outside the district to be in a dual language program. But you know, Lewis and Clark Elementary's got a large population, and people have really appreciated it.
I know when you started the bilingual program, that one of the selling points was that it improves academic performance for schools. And obviously, we're looking at that actually materializing in some of the numbers we're seeing in terms of graduation rates and test scores.
Yes. our graduation rates have increased 18 to 20% over the last 6 years, which is pretty high, because we were overall, Wenatchee High School is at 91%. Westside has moved up considerably, but our district graduation rate was at about 62% when I took the job, and now it's at about 84%. But what's really exciting for me is that our Latino population and our low-income population graduation percentages are in like 77%. So, I mean, they've gone up 20% as well. So that's really encouraging.
It's received recognition by the state.
Yes, it has. Yeah, it has. And in our college, our college placement, our kids who go on to 2- and 4-year colleges or tech schools, it's over 10% higher than the state average. And actually, we've closed the opportunity gap because our Latino and our low-income students are at the same percentage as our Caucasian students in going on to post-secondary school, which is over 66%.
Of course, with the good, there's the bad, and over the course of 19 years, I'm sure you've had your disappointments.
Yeah.
What do you see as the biggest disappointment?
Well, I think that what sticks in my mind right now was the loss of the bond for the Wenatchee High School project last spring. That is such a huge need. It's over 50 years old, the school is, and it's got to be addressed in our community. And we came 285 votes short, which was, and I think we ran one of our better campaigns. But that's kind of how our community has been very conservative in terms of facilities. Another one of my disappointments would be the loss of a couple bond issues that had West Side on it. But we also passed a couple bond issues, so the community is, I kind of know how it's balanced out. So I think the high school bond will come back as a high priority.
Well, you were able to make lemonade out of it in terms of what you were able to do with Westside High School.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things I'm probably really proud of, is the fact that we were able to work with the college. John McQuaig, who was our facilities coordinator at the time for the community, played a real role in getting the college to sell us that land. And then we made a trade with the West Side School, but we saved $5 million over 10 years, and we modernized West Side High School without having to go out to our community, which I think shows that we had really good stewardship.
And that still remains unsettled at this point, that's probably going to be coming back to the voters, if not this next year, at least in the future. Yeah,
Wenatchee High School definitely is. It's a high priority, and it's only going to get more expensive, so the sooner the better.
Okay. Obviously, budget is an ongoing challenge here at the Wenatchee School District. It has been quite controversial here over the past several years, what with teachers requesting more pay and facing some of the difficulties that were presented to you by the McCleary situation. Yeah. So, in retrospect, how do you think that you've dealt with that?
Well, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to deal with that my last year, again, because over the 20-year period I've been here, or 23 years up here at the district office, this isn't the first time that we've had to deal with budget issues, So, I mean, I came in here in 2000, and we had $1.5 million in our reserve, and we were considered on the watch list. So I had to make some budget decisions when I first got in, and build the reserve back up. And so we were able to actually, over time, build it up to 20%, which was huge. And now it's going back down. But, in 2008, we had the same problem with when the economy sank, and we had to cut over $3 million, and we were able to do it without doing a reduction in force with staff. And then this is kind of a similar situation with the McCleary and then the levy swap and all of that, and our enrollment dropping at the same time. So we had a real challenge because we had dropping enrollment and we had this levy shift. And so we had, we'll get through it. We had to cut about $4 million, a little over $4 million, and we did it, in the same manner that we did it in 2008. And our reserve is right now about 9%. So I think, we got another year to work through this, but it'll work itself back out and we'll get back on shape. But we've never really been in financial, had a financial problem, for the last 17, 18 years. So I'm proud of that.
I know it's a board decision, but do you foresee that the board or the district might go forward with this levy cap lift?
Well, I'm not sure. Certainly there's going to be a conversation about that. In fact, on our June 11th meeting, it's going to be on the agenda to talk about what are the options related to, going up to $2.50 from $1.50 of assessed value. So that's what they're going to be looking at, and then they'll have to make some decisions about what the direction they want to go.
Okay, very good. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was the changing face of governance here on the Wenatchee School District. Certainly, the board sets the policy. You put them into motion.
Right.
The board has seen a change over the past few years. In fact, some might say there's been a little discord among the board members. How do you perceive that as affecting your successor going forward?
Well, I'm not sure. I think that when Paul Gordon comes in to the district, the board hired him, so they're going to be working with him closely. They want him to be successful. Their governance, is got to be, strong. And so, those are the choices that they need to make and moving forward.
So what are your plans, Brian? Going to stick around with Wenatchee here?
We probably are depends on where all of our kids land, because I've got grandkids, and we want to be close to our grandkids and our children, so they're not going to be in Wenatchee, but what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take about 6 to 8 months off, and I'm going to enjoy not working, and then I'm going to see how I may want to re-enter, but I want to do it at a smaller scale.
Understand.
Yeah.
Well, if you have any advice that you'd like to share with your successor when he steps into this new role, what kind of advice do you think he could use right now?
Well, I would just, I think Paul, I had a chance to meet with him, and I think he's got a good idea of how he needs to come in at the entry level, and he's going to do a lot of listening and learning, and then he's going to be trying to build relationships, and so that'll be a positive start.
Very good. Well, we wish you the best of luck going forward, Brian Flones. We thank you for your service to the Wenatchee School District, and hope everything goes well for you.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank our community and our parents. Had so much support. We've never lost a levy. We always went 60% or more on our levies, even when they went down to 50. And our community values schools, and they value the kids in our community. And I've just been honored to be able to be the leader in this district for 19 years.
Well, good luck to you going forward, and thank you very much for taking some time out to talk to us here on NCW Life.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm Steve Hair for NCW Life News.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
If you're stuck trying to find the perfect beer for you, look no further than Badger Mountain Brewing. We specialize in creating tantalizing craft beers that will soothe any picky taste buds and will satisfy your cravings. Check out everything from our amazing honey blonde that will appease even the most finicky taster, or a delicious frothy stout for dark beer lovers. Experience them all at Badger Mountain Brewing. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning has been proudly serving the Wenatchee Valley for over 35 years. And just as Dick's has been there for you, they have also been an essential part of our community, supporting local youth sports all year long and your Wenatchee Wild.
Thanks for your support. Thanks, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, for all your support. Thank you.
Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, your local, independent, trained comfort specialist. Call 884-6444 today.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
There's a little girl fell in the lake in Block Island.
And how old is she?
I don't know. It's just a little girl with her brother.
And they're saying that they can't get to her?
Yeah.
There we are. Hey, it's Friday. I think our equipment wants to start their weekend early, but our equipment can't start its weekend early because our equipment's got a lot of work to do tonight. Once again, a reminder, if for whatever reason you can't make it to either Eastmont's commencement exercises at 6 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center or the Wenatchee High School commencement exercises at 8 o'clock at Lee Bofta Field at the Apple Bowl, you can watch both of those ceremonies live, commercial-free, beginning, again, at 6 o'clock tonight. As soon as Eastmont's graduation ceremony is over, we will switch over immediately live to Wenatchee's graduation ceremony. They should work out together. Last year timed out just perfect. Eastmont's ended. We switched to Wenatchee. They were just beginning to have the graduates file into the Apple Bowl. It was perfect timing. Hopefully it'll work out again today. We're ready to go. And of course, all of these commencement exercises don't just end there. As far as our television coverage is concerned, we'll be doing the West Side High School commencement exercises. That will be Thursday, the 13th. The exercises themselves will be at the Grand Ballroom at the Wenatchee Convention Center in downtown Wenatchee. Our cameras will be there for that live coverage. That's at 7 o'clock on Thursday of next week. And then Friday of next week, 1 week from today, again at 7 o'clock, the Wenatchee Valley College commencement exercises at Lee Bofta Field at the Apple Bowl. We will have that for you as well. And then we'll be replaying all 4 of those commencement exercise television special presentations throughout the course of the rest of the month in June, and you'll be able to watch them on demand on our website about the middle of next week. They're big files. It'll take a long time to get them slid over to our website server, but we're going to have them there so you can watch them on demand probably in about a week or so. All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast one more time for the National Weather Service. The big story today is going to be the wind. It's going to be breezy this morning and then just plain windy this afternoon. 69 for our high. Yeah, that's chilly. This morning's wind, northwest about 9 to 14 miles an hour. This afternoon, it picks up to about 20 miles an hour. And we could see even stronger gusts. In fact, we do have a slide from the National Weather Service. Take a look at it. There you go. Take a look at where you live, and that's your wind gust potential for later on today. And that's going to go right up until about sunset tonight, about 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to be quite windy right up until then. Then the wind should be dying down overnight tonight, spilling into Saturday. Some residual wind is expected on Saturday. And we'll top off at about 74. And then we're going to start warming up. Beautiful day Sunday. Look at that. Lots of sunshine at 79 degrees. High pressure will really get going on Monday. We'll go from 79 to 88. We're going to have about a 10-degree jump. And then near record highs possible by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And look at the overnight lows in the 70s on Wednesday and Thursday next week. A long stretch of sunny and, well, I think we can safely say hot weather is coming our way. A lot of great guests coming your way next week. Monday, live in this very studio, the voice of the Apple Sox, Stormin' Joel Norman, will be dropping by. John Alt, the mayor of Antioch, will be one of my guests next week. And also Eddie Chaidez of Wenatchee Pride will be dropping by as well. Provided the show isn't canceled, we'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.